So, in a way, today's journal entry is in response to yesterday's journal entry because the last couple of journal entries I've had, I've had come up inside of me this intuition that I'm expressing myself arrogantly. And so I'm self analyzing what I observe on these journal entries and wanting to change it. However, knowing myself well enough to understand that if I come off that way, I've got to admit it about myself and integrate it. And through the object lesson of actually seeing it, I can integrate it better. I've allowed it to express itself. The energy does not get blocked that way because I've allowed it to come out. And then I can respond. I can actually make a choice. I can say, shall I be continuing in this arrogant fashion, or what I determine to be arrogant or sound arrogant, or do I do something different? But the key is that I had to go through it. And this links into that Oriental saying, it's good to be nice, it's not nice to be too good. And I remember, I think it was Thomas Mann that wrote somewhere that true art has flaws. The flaw is where the true art resides in any creative artwork. And I'm reminded of James Joyce mentioning 1132 in Finnegan's Wake, or was it Ulysses? And how Joseph Campbell and Robinson, in their Skeleton Key to Finnegan's Wake, said that it was related to Romans 11:32, which says, God consigned all life to disobedience, that all may have their equal share in grace. And for me, that tragic flaw makes someone more human, more real. And I really don't feel that these journal entries or my thoughts or concerns or whatever I recite are really that big of a deal. So I'm not trying to change the world. I don't think the stuff that I do is world changing or life changing. I just express myself for my own benefit. And there it is. That's what it is, what it is. I am where I'm at this time. And that's one of the reasons why I do the journal entries, is to encapsulate where I'm at a given time. And being that I'm not overly invested in expecting things from others, in my relationships, others don't overly expect more than their share from me. And so I'm allowed to be myself more freely. Now, if I set myself into a relationship that required a tremendous amount from me, I would have to do a whole lot of editing for the benefit of the expectations. And I've realized that, I think there's a lot of people out there that can edit who they are and not really have that much of a problem with it. It doesn't affect them in a negative way. But I have seen for myself that it does affect me. So in a strong way, and not always in the positive. So sublimation for me is not really an effective tool. it just prolongs the inevitable. So I don't like to transform something into a different form, because the seed is still there of the true form that is informing whatever sprouts. For me, however, I like the idea of metamorphosis, where there is complete change, and that complete change occurs through a metamorphosis, and yeah. And I realize there's a lot of people that don't ever figure this stuff out for their whole life. And I have to accept that. I really need to accept, in some instances, that there are those with expectations that they project upon other people as a demand. And it's, for me, experienced as tyranny. And as far as freedom goes, because I was born and imprinted from a very young age about the importance of freedom, tyranny is something that I naturally take a posture and stance with in opposition. I oppose it. I naturally take the posture of an opposition. And I've been trying to work with that, and I find that realizing that my ideas are only working hypotheses, I don't have to know the bottom line, and I find myself very aware of my own mistaken qualities, my own character flaws, that I don't want to take any stance or posture too seriously. I do believe in certain things and I live by those things, but I realize that that is not so for everyone else. And when I'm sensitive and aware of what's going on around me, I can see how other people live, and I can take it or leave it.